What the hell? Yo! Yo! Hello? What? Oh, let's go. Kick his ass, Moon Knight. Meow. What? There's gotta be a massive post-credit scene. Okay, post-credit scene.
Meet my friend, Jake Lockley.
What? What the hell? What the actual hell? What an unreal show. Wow. 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 What are they selling? Vengeance. What is going on, fellow streamers? Welcome into another episode of StreamerSZN, the exclusive TV and movie podcast for streaming platforms on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. It's your favorite Cowabunga boys, KB and Dylan, coming at you from Underground Studios. We got a lot to dive into this episode, as you see on the fancy schmancy rundown below Dylan and I's faces. We're going to get into the Moon Knight finale, which I did something I normally don't do, Dylan. I recorded myself watching Moon Knight, and I condensed it, cut it up, and put my just like facial reactions on the YouTube channel. So go check that out.
That's awesome.
I was like, you know what?
Popular kind of video. Like, I see the reaction videos have grown a lot of popularity in our lifetime.
Sped some parts up, and then when I like audibly gasped, I left that open, and I said, "What the hell?" So you can go check that out on our YouTube channel right now. So we'll get into the Moon Knight finale. We Own This City, Episode 2. It is Star Wars Day as we record this, and you know Dylan and I are big Star Wars boys, so we're going to talk some Star Wars, and then we'll get into the streaming platform Multiverse News and Notes, everybody's favorite segment, where we have a fun game that will go on in the streaming platform Multiverse later on in the show. But before we get started, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at StreamerSZN on Twitter and Instagram. Follow Dylan at Dylan Mazzola on Twitter. Follow me at KBIZZL311 on Twitter. Dylan, drop your Venmo and Cash App because your birthday is tomorrow by the time the people are listening to this. It is today.
Yeah, here, I don't have Cash App. I'm a dinosaur, but I do have Venmo. So let me pull it up.
Buy the boys some snacks for the movies.
Yeah, I am seeing, it's funny Kyle says that. I am seeing Doctor Strange tomorrow. That's my birthday gift to myself. So my Venmo is literally at my name. So it's at DYLAN, capital D, Dylan. I'm not sure if they have to do the dash when they search it up.
Yeah, I don't know if they do or not.
But if you do, it's the dash Mazzola. So it's literally just my full name.
Venmo the boy for his movie theater popcorn and snacks.
Yeah, DYLAN, dash if you have to do it, Mazzola, capital MMAZZOLA. I highly anticipate no one to do it. And honestly, if you want to do it, just leave me $1. Just be that guy or girl, you know.
Be that guy. Be that person. Help the boy out with his movie theater.
My Venmo balance is 67. So if you get $2, people,
nice.
69.
Nice.
I'm just saying.
So yeah, go Venmo Dylan, and then make sure you guys check out our website, undergroundsportsphiladelphia.com, for all of our written content. Subscribe to the podcast feed. It still means a lot. Even though we're on the tubes, subscribe to the podcast feed. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Dylan, I'm going to pull it up here for the people to let them know, because we're still cooking on those charts, baby. We're still cooking internationally. We're doing the damn thing. And right now, StreamerSZN is the number 59 podcast for TV reviews on Apple Podcasts in Saudi Arabia, and number 170, up one spot, in Austria on the TV reviews. So shout out to Austria, shout out to Saudi Arabia, plus the main podcast cooking on the Armenian sports podcast charts. We are number 81 in Armenia. So shout out to our international listeners. We're doing the goddamn thing in Saudi Arabia and in Austria. But subscribe to the podcast feeds, Apple Podcast, Spotify. And Dylan, what should they do in the Apple Podcast reviews?
They should, well, first they should obviously leave a review and then leave a rating. Secondly, they should leave a recommendation as to what you want us to watch.
And you can also do that in the YouTube comment section. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the like button. Click the bell icon so you don't miss a single episode. These first couple episodes, Dylan, I must say, they've been performing really well on the YouTube, which I had a feeling they would. The people love the TV content on the tubes. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. And make sure you check out full video episodes of all your favorite Underground Sports Philadelphia shows over on YouTube. Big thank you to our sponsors who make this show happen. Tomahawk Shades, the best small batch eyewear in the game. I was wearing my Tomahawk Shades this morning when I was recording that reaction video. I had them on, so my eyes weren't blistering out of my eye sockets. Yeah. You guys can go to Tomahawk Shades and get your own blue light glasses, because Dylan, I know you use them too, and They have the prescription lenses are available now.
Oh, wow, really?
So you can get prescription lenses on those bad boys. It is a little more moolah, obviously, for reasons we all know, but...
I'm so tired. I thought you said Mulan.
We're hooking them up because you can use our code USP for 25% off those bad boys. So get your blue light glasses, your sunglasses, all that good stuff at TomahawkShades.com and use promo code USP for 25% off your entire order. Kenwood Beer, Dylan's going to be chugging responsibly all the Kennys tomorrow for his birthday.
Not tomorrow, probably Friday, because I still have to work Friday. But yes, Kyle's not wrong. I probably will still have a Kenny or two tomorrow.
So go to KenwoodBeer.com and use the Kenny tracker to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia area. You got to be 21 or older to do so. And of course, please drink responsibly. And Dylan, our pals over at Bino Board, the boards have arrived. The boards are at the studio. The Bino League is coming to the YouTube channel.
It looks sick.
Very excited. We got two boards, two different ones. We got the black turf, and then we got the limited edition green turf. So the Bino League is coming, and I'm very excited about it. Have all this content planned in my brain. You guys can get your Bino boards and all your accessories at binoboard.com. That's BINHOBOARD.com. And use our code BINOUSP for 10% off your order at binoboard.com. Dylan, let's get into it. Moon Knight, episode 6, the finale, which I have to preface this. Typically, when we do our reviews of the Marvel shows, they tell us if it's a limited series or if there's going to be a renewal or if it's a mini-series or whatever it may be.
This one, correct?
I will say, something I noticed from social media, the official Twitter account for Moon Knight tweeted out, season finale. Typically, what we saw from WandaVision, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Did you go through and stalk all those and see what
they said? Series finale.
That's some
Moon Knight said season finale.
Right here, your very own Kyle is doing his due diligence, putting in that work.
I am out here for the people, doing the gosh damn thing. It said season finale, so that makes me think, for good reason, we're getting a season 2, and we best believe Moon Knight's showing up more and more across the MCU. But Dylan, episode 6, before we get into the full-blown breakdown of this episode, what were your thoughts? Your initial thoughts after watching the finale?
Dude, it was a good episode. I'm not going to say it's the best finale I've ever seen of a show, obviously. Maybe even Marvel, I have to think. It was very solid. I will say, though, that opinion changes when you watch the end credit scene. Because I will say, given the confines of this show and what the end credit scene was, I might argue that this is probably my favorite MCU end credit scene. It's up there in terms of like if you know what the Moon Knight character is, I guess you could have expected it. But if you're going in blind with no background knowledge, you probably were like, "What the actual shit did I just like watch and witness?" And that's, I mean, even knowing what was going to possibly happen, it was still like I was like, "Whoa, this is a great way to save this like this card until the very end."
Yeah, I was kind of blown away by the fact that like they were able to pack so much into a very condensed episode, I would say. Like I'm pretty sure this episode was only like 35 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was 43 minutes, I think, was the full runtime including credits. So yeah, 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Checks out.
Which I was like, when it ended, I was like, no. There's no way. There's no way this is the end. And then obviously we get that epic post-credit scene, which we'll talk about. But we kick this episode off at the tomb of Alexander the Great and Arthur Harrow collecting Amit's Ushabti from Mark Spector's dead body and leaves it to complete the ritual. Mourning Spector's death, Layla disguises herself and follows Harrow and his followers. And on their way to Giza, they get stopped by the Egyptian patrol agency, but Harrow uses his new powers to judge the patrol guards killing the unworthy, which that moment I literally, like, my jaw dropped and I said, what?
And those are probably all the souls we saw when Mark was doing his journey across the
Duat. Yeah,
Duat.
My jaw, like, when I saw him use the staff and then it was just like, whew, just a mass exodus of souls. I said, huh?
That one random soldier, he was like, "You are a good man." He was so confused. He was like, "What?"
Huh? So he uses his powers to judge them, killing the unworthy. Layla prepares to attack Harrow, but Tawaret stops her, sending her a message from Mark Spector saying that they need Khonshu's help to stop Harrow, and it was very hilarious seeing Tawaret's voice in the patrol agent's body.
I was gonna say the body. That's the part I was gonna add. It's very funny hearing her talk through a literal dead person.
Oh, Layla! You could be my avatar.
Acting like they're long. Like
hey, bestie.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say she hasn't had an avatar yet. It doesn't feel like
yeah.
I think she said this is the first one, right? Later on.
Yes.
Interesting.
Very, very funny there. Harrow and his followers arrive at the Great Pyramid of Giza, making their way into the Chamber of the Gods, although the Ennead Council... Basilisk? I mean, almost. We'll get to that in a second. The Ennead Council stands in their way. Despite their resistance, Harrow kills Salim, Yatzil, and other avatars before breaking the Ushabti and releasing Amit from her imprisonment. Amit tells Harrow that his scales are not balanced, and my oh my, was that a giant crocodile lady.
Dude.
That was, like...
She was a big one.
This show...
Big lady.
With the portrayal of the Egyptian gods, some of the best work the MCU's ever done.
Yeah, no, it's really like I talked about. I think last episode or 2 episodes ago. It's just really cool how they actually like stayed with like the culture and the theme, and they stuck with it again. Like it was just cool seeing this like little. I wouldn't even say it's a battle. It was more one sided, but it was cool seeing the fighting in like the ritual tomb place. Because you saw, like Kyle said, all the avatars, and you saw how, I guess, worthless they were compared to Amit, dude.
And seeing just like the CGI of Amit, Khonshu, and Tawaret too, like the attention to detail, the designs of all three of them were so well done, and like you can only hope moving forward, even though obviously you don't know if we're gonna go back to Egypt anytime soon, but like. In any portrayal sense of like a god or, you know, a higher figure like that, they go down a similar route like they did with Moon Knight.
Yeah, the CGI for what the budget was, I know it wasn't like super, super high. I mean, probably still high in retrospect of what, you know, money is to us, anyone listening, unless you're secretly super loaded someone listening.
Which if you are, come through.
Which if you are, good for you. But like,
Venmo Dylan if you are.
Yeah. No. But, like, the CGI was fine. There was times earlier on, like honestly, like in the very first episode or two, I didn't like some things, but I think either I got used to it or it got better, or maybe both. So it's perfectly fine. I enjoyed it. Kyle's right. I really like the CGIing of just the suit overall throughout the series. I have a kind of not even a theory. Like, so all those statues, bust, stone things of the gods are there, right? And we learn that you literally just have to eat it.
Yeah.
You have to do the Lonely Island song, and I threw it on the ground.
What a reference.
So and then they poof out, and then they're like, "Hey, I'm your genie, but not really. I'm going to take over your body because of how this works." So my point is, like, all those statues or busts, whatever you want to call them, and they're still there technically, even after everything happens. So could you see more avatars in the future of the MCU? Because there's a shit ton of gods that were just chilling on the shelf.
Yeah, because we didn't even see all of the 9 members of the Ennead in this show.
No, we only saw a handful, and then
being that it was a season finale, could see it in season 2.
Yeah, it's interesting because presumably, I imagine the gods don't die, where the avatars do die. That was my impression. I don't know. What do you think of that? Like, you think when they die, do you think the god dies with the avatar, or probably not? Because it's inferred that a lot of the gods have had multiple, like Khonshu's had multiple avatars. So it's probably not far fetched to believe that one has died in the line of duty. Maybe ? Question mark. I don't know.
I would say probably just the avatar dies and the spirit of the god lives on and then just inhabits another avatar. That would be my guess from what we were.
Yeah, I was just something I was thinking about. I figured you would find that intriguing. Like,
yeah,
the fact
definitely.
that there's a bunch of elves on the shelves, like just waiting to be released, and gods, whatever gods are there, we don't even know.
That's gonna be. I think that's gonna be an interesting part when/if we get season 2. So Amit tells Harrow that his scales are not balanced, and although he is ready to accept his destiny, Amit delays Harrow's death and chooses him as her new avatar. Meanwhile, Layla frees Khonshu but refuses to become his avatar, so he confronts Amit by himself. You beautiful Khonshu. Spectre finds himself in the field of reeds, where Tawaret tells him that he is complete now and can achieve his peace. However, Spectre refuses to stay in the paradise while Stephen Grant is trapped in the sand of the Duat and turns his back on the field. Finding Grant frozen in the sand, Spectre apologizes to him for failing to protect his peaceful life and places his full heart into Grant's hand before freezing himself. And at that moment, the gates of Osiris open near them, and the light liberates both Spectre and Grant so they can leave the Duat. As Tawaret helps them by slowing down the sandstorm, Spectre and Grant successfully escape the Duat. Khonshu senses Spectre and Grant's presence in the world of living and makes a new deal, healing their body and bringing Moon Knight back to life. Spectre and Grant ask to redefine their arrangement, saying that after Amit is no longer a threat, they are free to go. Khonshu is appalled that they would negotiate now, but he has no choice but to accept their terms.
That was a fun little interaction.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Layla gets told by Salim that the only way to stop Amit is to imprison her inside the vulnerable human body instead of Ushabti. Without any other options, Layla speaks to Tawaret and accepts her offer to become a temporary avatar, and Tawaret grants her with the ceremonial armor, which was so badass. What a reveal, and an unexpected reveal, I would say, because I think leading up to this episode, you didn't really know what Layla's full-blown role was going to be come the finale, and to see her get that armor, to see her just go full, like, the only inkling we really got was in episode 3, when she pulled her necklace in half and, like, stabbed that dude with the pieces of the necklace. But what a badass reveal. I hope Layla is, like, a fixture in the MCU moving forward for a long, long time, because, one, I loved her character. I love the actress, and I think there's more of her story to tell moving forward, not only in, like, the Moon Knight space, but, like, she could be part of the Midnight Suns. She could be part of an Avengers lineup. She could be part of a whole bunch of things.
As, not to get ahead of ourselves, not that much. There's a dial. There's a line that a civilian asks her, "Are you an Egyptian superhero?" And she says, "Yes," or "Yes, I am."
Yes, I am.
So that sets it up because obviously most of the superheroes in the MCU are based in like I was gonna say America, but it's honestly just fucking New York.
Yeah, it's like New York and California, like right now with Shang-Chi
Marvel
and
characters are like, this state and this state's important. Everything in between, forget about it. And then there's like one random hero. He's like, I'm Captain Canada. I'm Wolverine. Yeah, you got the man who forgets his past every 5 minutes.
and then we just have a giant fucking celestial chilling in the Indian Ocean.
Yeah. Well, like my point is like that gives representation to people like in Egypt and both in real life and Marvel.
Mhm.
And then B, it gives another like it gives us like such like if you're looking at a map, right? Like tactically, it also puts a hero on the map over here. Because when the world scaled invasions happen, it doesn't just affect the USA or New York. You only just see it through the eyes of the other MCU movies, which is America centric. But like now, I think what they're kind of doing, like you said, Shang-Chi, like his sister doing the 10 rings or
The
no?
10 rings, yeah.
Like that kind of stuff, all kinds of other like things. And
We
other
still have everything going on in Wakanda.
we have that. What's that city called?
Madripoor, yeah.
Madripoor. My point is, like, they're
You have
slowly
Dane Whitman in England.
Yeah, they're possibly gonna get Nova soon. He's like a Green Lantern type character where he goes to and from. Point is, they're expanding.
Which is
they're
good.
like, expanding, which is what they have to do, and that's why I think Layla, to go on Kyle's point, in a long-winded way, but it's true. Is it's very crucial. It's adding new heroes.
Do you think she'll be classified as an Avenger? Or do you think it'll be something
I don't
else?
think so. I think it'll just kind of be like she's a superhero.
Because a lot of people after last week's episode, I think it was, or episode 4, they noticed she had a Band-Aid on her finger, and there was a red scarab, which in the comics is a reference to the Scarlet Scarab, which is just another hero, which would be a cool way to bring her powers in. But we don't, obviously this was a temporary avatar, so you don't even know truly what it's going to be moving forward. But
well, she might, her and Toette might agree to stay together because obviously I'd rather have that. I'd rather have like the sunshine and lollipop, like peaceful, like oh my god, I'm so proud of you, than Khonshu. Kill him.
Come on.
He's Star Wars Day. Do it
now.
Do it.
Yeah, I really want to see May Kalamali's character for like the next decade in the MCU. She was fantastic in this series.
I was sold when I saw her like superhero suit. Very cool. The wings.
That reveal was one of the best reveals we've gotten in a long time too.
No, it was cool. It was unexpected. I mean, it kind of foreshadowed, I guess, like in a weird way. If you think about it now, how like the whole plot point was like Khonshu wants you as the Avatar. So if that was the case, which you learn later, it might not be so accurate. But if that was the case, then that means Khonshu, the god of like vengeance, sees something in her, which makes sense that she got her own avatar. But you weren't expecting it to be the hippo lady.
Yeah, 100%. So a fantastic, character / I guess you could say alter ego reveal.
Yeah, it's true.
So then she gets the ceremonial armor. Harrow unleashes his newly granted forces on Cairo, while his followers judge people, sending the souls of the unworthy to be devoured by Amit, which was unreal.
It was unreal, but I'm so messed up for laughing. And it's no one's fault. It's because one of the scenes where it cuts to them like grabbing people, the one extra was like shaking extra hard, and I was just wheezing when I was watching it today. Because all you see is the person like...
That's amazing.
Because like imagine if you're in Cairo, right? It wouldn't be on the news yet. So imagine you wake up, you have your cup of Joe and your whatever, or maybe alcohol is nighttime there, and you look and you see some guy like you're like, what the...
It'd be like the Incredibles when Violet spits the water out of her nose.
Why is people all giving like weird handshakes and like
right? And then Amit's just like just swallowing them souls.
And also the regular people don't see Ahmed, but I don't know, would they? I guess they wouldn't, but maybe they would because she devoured so many souls.
Yeah. So then, however, Harrow gets confronted by Moon Knight, which I thought that was awesome. The way that Moon Knight just slides in, comes through, ready to kick some ass.
Clue, bro.
That was amazing. And Mr. Knight as well, while Khonshu battles Colossal Amit. We get a giant kaiju battle. She once again offers Khonshu to join her, but Khonshu says that he punishes only those who had chosen evil and gives them the choice, while Amit only takes it away. Joined by Layla, Mark and Steven continue to fight Harrow and his disciple, but they fail, while Khonshu gets defeated by Amit. And suddenly,
just realized he's the biggest hypocrite in the fucking world for saying that line. Think of the end credit scene. Okay, keep going. I was like, wait a minute.
Suddenly, Spectre blacks out and finds Harrow being brutally beaten, and other followers of his dead, realizing that nor he or Steven did it.
Jake is a menace, bro.
Savage.
I don't understand how he got out of that.
Yeah, that was maniacal. So Mark and Layla then bring Harrow to the Chamber of the Gods and recite an ancient spell to trap Amit inside Harrow's body. Khonshu orders Spectre to kill Harrow, so both of them would no longer be a threat, but Spectre refuses, saying that Khonshu is barely different from Amit. Upholding his part of the deal, Khonshu releases Mark and Steven as they find themselves at the Putnam Psychiatric Hospital with Duat's Harrow. Although Harrow refuses to admit that what they said was true, Mark and Steven notice blood on Harrow's footprints, saying that he does not know as much as he thinks. And then Mark and Steven dismiss Harrow's diagnosis and choose to save the world, waking up in Grant's apartment in London. And we get the every day I wake up. I
guess he can probably stop chaining himself to the bed now that he knows.
Yeah. Which, when that moment happened and the episode ended, I was like, there's no way. There's no way that it just ended now. Like, I was like, there's so much still to be told. I was like, we didn't even get really another reference to Jake. What is going on? So then in the mid-credit scene, Harrow is seen being administered in, I believe it's Senkowich Psychiatric Hospital, where he gets taken out by a Spanish-speaking man. Noticing dead hospital employees on their way, Harrow is taken in a limo, where he meets Khonshu, reminding that he cannot hurt him or Amit, and Khonshu tells Harrow that he had no intentions of taking Layla as his next avatar, and Mark Spector does not even know how broken he truly is. Khonshu then presents Harrow with Jake Lockley, his friend, another alter of Spectre, who shoots Harrow and drives away with that silencer on.
James Bond shit, bro. The execution. Loved it.
Love that Jake Lockley's Latino. That is 110% an Oscar Isaac creative, stamp on this series. I love that aspect of it. Pretty much like
is he British or what?
He's from New York.
Oh,
he's got like that. That's why when we heard when he kind of switched a couple times throughout the series, he had that that aggressive New York accent. But I love that he was Spanish. I love that he was Latino. Great, just like little attention to detail. And I don't know if you noticed this, Dylan, when the limo was leaving. Did you see the license plate?
Spectre.
That was awesome,
dude. Not only does Oscar Isaacs have 3 personalities, he essentially almost has 3 ethnicities if you want to boil it down. Well, yeah, that's technically does, right? Because Mark Spector is Jewish, and then
correct.
All his in this version of Jake Lockley, it's a Latino man from Brooklyn, and then Steven's a super posh Englishman.
Yep,
that's awesome.
Just a wild way to end it. Very much a cliffhanger, very much open-ended. I think it leaves so many opportunities open for Moon Knight to continue to be a mainstay in the MCU, which I think you and I, after watching this entire series, completely want to happen. I thought, although the episode left on such an open-ended cliffhanger, it was a really, really good finale. I loved the freaking kaiju battle. I loved just the overall
kaiju battle. It really was. Godzilla.
the overall storytelling and bringing things back and bringing Mark back to life with Steven, them coexisting together, Layla getting her superhero on. It was an awesome finale.
Agreed. You touched on 2 points that I was going to touch on, and I just going to add, like I just said, I just like the fact that there was a show that added some like plot twists that weren't overly predictable. Like we all knew Jake was coming, right? But we got to the end and we were like, "You mother truckers, you really played with," and you're like, "Oh, never mind," and that's cool. And did I think that we were going to see Jake Lockley in that capacity killing off Ethan Hawke? No, I didn't. I thought actually what they were doing for a second until I realized it was Oscar Isaacs because I actually was watching it on my phone, so it was easy accessible, and I paused it and I like rolled it back and you could see his face, and I'm like, either they used a double or Oscar Isaacs is like puffing out his face on purpose to not look like himself. But I was like, what the fuck is he? It's talking about a bee for this scene? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
And then I let it play, and I thought it was gonna give some vibes from like the typical like. I guess it would fit his character technically to Brooklyn. I thought I was going to walk in and be like, "Yo, Ethan Hawke, we recruited you for our secret organization. We got the limo here for you, boss." Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was thinking it was going to be like one of those things, like a bigger villain reveal, or like something nutty, like I don't know, like Deadpool or something weird, but like something that makes sense. Like, oh, yeah. I like your, but no, it was Khonshu just sitting all.
And I thought it was going to be some sort of Multiverse of Madness tie-in because obviously the movie comes out in a couple days.
I thought it was that, or I thought long stretch it was going to be what's her face, Julia Dreyfus or whatever, like recruiting people that have powers.
Which I also love that Khonshu had the Mr. Knight suit on.
Yes,
I thought that was awesome.
I think Steven's his favorite, low key. He just doesn't want to admit it yet.
He does love him some Jake Lockley though.
No, Jake Lockley's clearly his favorite. Jake Lockley, that opens up another interesting questions, which makes sense why they were seeing the dream of Ethan Hawke in a setting because their boy was executing a hit.
Now, this also raises the question with that mid-credit scene, I guess you could call it, because it didn't happen on screen. Do you think Arthur Harrow is dead? We hear the silencer gun blast, but we didn't see him obviously KO and die. It's very similar to
yes, 100% dead because he literally wanted Mark/Steven to do it or Layla to do it. So he acted and got his personality, which I honestly have two theories on Jake. So I feel like he either was formed when Mark was actually getting hit, like when he was getting hit,
which we talked about last week too, and I
think, or maybe he formed like during his military experiences. I think I said it on the pod. If not, I think Jake's the one that killed Layla's dad.
Yes, I agree with you there.
And then I also think Jake could be, if they want to spin it this way, because Khonshu's a prick in this. I think somehow Khonshu might have had a puppet master in designing Jake.
Interesting. I like that take
because it's almost like Jake's able to hide himself completely, whereas Mark did too, but Mark had to take like arrangements, like drag stuff around like the house, like the apartment. Right. And we know that was Mark because Mark opened up about that. Jake has like no personal belongings. Like he just comes out, puts on the old-timey hat, and then turns into a badass
Stone Cold killer.
Like, I don't know, in the apartment was there just like one drawer with like a razor blade and that was his? Like, you know what I mean? So, which makes sense, obviously, because there's like no trail of him, why none of them know he exists. But my point is almost too convenient because that dream sequence happened at the same time as he was executing Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, is Jake strong enough to do that on his own and block out two other personalities, or is Khonshu somehow interfering with, like, helping?
Yeah.
Like amplifying, like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
It just makes me feel like season 2 is all but confirmed.
It makes me feel all but confirmed, and it makes me feel like we'll get a lot more. Obviously, we'll get a lot more of Jake because we've only gotten. Someone broke it down on TikTok. There are several moments in the series in which we got Jake before we saw Jake. The most notable one was last week when he grabbed the glass decoration and like looked like he was ready to like.
And he had the busted nose, which was from the comics as well. And
then obviously we saw him today twice.
And we saw him in episode 3, I think it was, when he was fighting the like Harrow's followers or whatever.
Street gang? Yeah.
So there was a couple instances before he full blown showed up, which was really cool. Very fun reveal. This show was awesome. Like, what a fantastic way to kick off the 2022 Disney Plus MCU season.
Oh, seriously, yeah.
I think this is in a upper echelon tier of shows we've watched on this podcast, which include the WandaVisions, that includes the Lokis, that includes episode 4 of What If.
WandaVision.
It includes The Mandalorian season 2. There's been a number of
that. Star Wars Day, keep talking.
And it includes Peacemaker. You know, there have been a lot of shows over the past, year or so that we've been able to watch for this podcast that have really delivered. Ayo.
I built this out of Legos.
That's sick. I think I have that boxed in the studio, actually. That's sick. That's dope. Love that.
Yeah, your boy is creative, Kyle, I literally built that one, and then also for the brand, I bought 2, and then literally my other
That's fire. That's awesome.
Had to throw it out there, people. If you're on YouTube, you'll enjoy that. I recently got back into Legos. I guess.
Same, dude. I like it's so therapeutic.
That's why I literally drank a margarita and built Legos, and let me tell you,
that's incredible.
It was incredible. Although, the one set I had 2 margaritas, and then the Lego building became frustrating. So, my point is, limit yourself to 1 marg.
One marg. If there are any margarita companies out there that want to sponsor us,
dude,
come through.
That would be a fire YouTube series. Me just drinking sponsored margs and building Legos and progressively getting harder each time.
Needs to happen. Dylan, for the first time since March 10th, we not only have an episode review, but a series review.
Yes,
so we'll start with our episode review and have you predict the Rotten Tomatoes score for episode 6 of Moon Knight, which is titled... I don't want to mess this up.
We're waiting.
Mess it up.
We're waiting.
We're waiting. I believe it's something and the gods.
Well, we're waiting. So while Kyle's doing that, I can at least give my guesses. There's no harm to that. So I think that the Rotten Tomato is going to be sitting at 90%, and I think the numeric grade 1 through 10 is going to be 8.1.
Gods and monsters.
Gods and monsters. I'll do like 8.1 for the number, and then I'll do 90% for Rotten Tomatoes. And then for my score, I'm going to go pretty much with what.
And this is your episode score.
Yes,
correct.
Episode score. I'm going to go like a 9.
Okay. So the Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter, 92% based off of 11 ratings.
Right on the money.
I'm sorry, 12 ratings. 11 are rated fresh. 1 is rated rotten. Don't know why.
Time to go give a bad review to drop it down to 90 so I can be right. No, I'm kidding.
And then the average rating was a 7.8 out of 10. I think that's very low.
Your boy is too close.
I think for this episode, my only gripe that it was that it was like a little short.
That's why I gave it. I wasn't gonna do like some super high 9. Well, 9's still high.
Yeah,
I just gave it the 9 because of the end credits scene. Really.
Yeah, I'm at like a 9.2 for the episode. Like I think just the action, the reveals with Layla having the suit, with Jake Lockley's reveal, with Khonshu in the Mr. Knight suit. I think there was a lot of comic reveals, which were, and when I say comic, I mean comic book. That were super awesome. Like if you go watch our YouTube video, Underground Sports Philadelphia's YouTube channel, with my reactions just to the episode, it's literally just my face reacting to everything that goes on. The amount of times my jaw audibly and like visually just drops is insane.
about to go pull it up right now.
It was a fantastic episode. Really enjoyed it. So I'm going to give it a 9.2. And Dylan, your overall score for Moon Knight, parentheses, asterisk, allegedly, season 1.
Do we have the other scores on hand? No, right?
I have the other scores of the 2022 shows, which were the Book of Mando Fett, Peacemaker season 1, and Daredevil, because I ended up watching all of Daredevil.
I think
we did Daredevil as a collective of all 3 seasons.
I think it would track.
So your Book of Boba Fett score. Do you want your score and the overall score?
I want the season score, as a show.
So your Book of Boba Fett season score was a 7 out of 10, and overall we gave it as a collective, as a show, 7.7 out of 10. Peacemaker season 1, you gave it a 9.5 out of 10, and that was also our overall score. Yeah. And then Daredevil as a collective for the 3 seasons, you gave it a 9 out of 10, and overall we gave it a 9.3 out of 10.
All right. I'm going to give this a solid, it's definitely a 9. I was just trying to think of what. Trying to be more critical, and the short length of this last episode, and it's not their fault. It really got me. It really got me.
I think there's a reason for it. We just don't know yet.
That too. I'm just gonna go with I'll say a 9-1 as a show overall for me, the whole.
All right, let me type that in here to our official database.
It's just I'm going off of and ratings change. I've had a fan or two listen to the show, which I'm grateful for them, and they always like to bust my cojones, and they're like, "Oh, you rated it so high," and I'm like, "Well, I just watched this show, and my opinion changed." I'm same thing with Kyle. I'm sure there's stuff we've said on this show, and there's stuff you guys probably thought and said and read that a week later you're like, "Yeah, no, yeah," it's like an 8. You know what I mean? Granted, I've never said a 9 and dropped down a 5 or a 6, but there have been a couple shows that I've watched and said 8, and I'm like, oh, that was better than I thought, or worse than I thought. If I could go back, the Book of Boba, I'd probably give it a 6 or a 7, just because I watched some episodes, it was terrible again. But
you gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, exactly.
For the season.
There you
go. Moon Knight, like I said earlier, I think this show. Tell me if you agree with me too. I think it's in the echelon of Loki, WandaVision, in that elite S tier of the Disney Plus shows.
Definitely agree. It's why I graded it highly, because this already graded higher than the Falcon Winter Soldier show, and it graded higher than the other one I didn't like.
Hawkeye,
yeah.
And I think this grades higher than What If, in my opinion too. And I think mostly because it's on a different it's on a different standard, but.
What If's a good example of one that I graded a little too highly when we did that, just because I was so
blown away,
with the enemy Bad Ultron. I was like, "Whoa, so cool!" And then I was like, "Well, some of the episodes kind of sucked." So,
I think this show was fantastic. I even think even though it's only 6 episodes for this season, I think it's in that tier with Daredevil in terms of just it having horror aspects, having more violence aspects. I think Oscar Isaac was sensational.
That was a great point. So this is what happens when you bring in. I'm not knocking any other Marvel actors, so don't like Dylan's. This is what happens when you bring in world-class acting like Oscar Isaacs and Ethan Hawke. We'll give him credit as well.
Yeah.
So,
Ethan Hawke, May Kalamaui was awesome. Those 3 together really made this show. I think if any of those 3 were cast differently, this show's not as good as it was.
Oscar Isaacs is the Moon Knight. I don't really see any other actors doing it, just because.
And I think that's a key for how good this show is that this is the first time we've seen Moon Knight in the MCU. And we now justifiably say, no, Oscar Isaac is Moon Knight. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's very much Tony Stark, that's Robert Downey Jr. Daredevil, that's Charlie Cox. I'm
not going to identify him as his terrible X-Men character.
we don't talk about that. That's Bruno.
Or I'm not going to identify him as Poe Dameron.
I think Poe Dameron is now his second in command of roles he's played.
Yeah, most notable because it's Star Wars. I'm just happy he got another project that's actually like showcases acting.
Yeah, and my goodness, he blew it out of the park. So with that, I didn't find many issues with this series at all. Dylan, I'm giving it a 9.7 out of 10.
Yo, my man's goated over here.
This is certified goated. This is the highest score I have ever given a show on this podcast. I gave WandaVision a 9.6 out of 10 back in the day, back over a year ago. This show was awesome. It kept you on the edge of your seat. And I think it's a little different too, where WandaVision was 9 episodes, which I wish something like Moon Knight got that treatment, where it got a couple more episodes than the 6. But man, every week I was like itching for more, wanted more. It left so many doors open for opportunity. And I think this is just the beginning for Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight. So I'm giving it a 9.7 out of 10. Dylan, you gave it a 9.1 out of 10. For the quick math for the people at home, 9.7 plus 9.1 is 18.8. Divided by 2 is a 9.4 out of 10. That is the second highest score.
A big math guy over here.
Big math guy. Dylan, that is the second highest score of 2022 for the boys on series we have watched. Only 0.1 behind Peacemaker Season 1.
Oh, Peacemaker. What a good show. But no, this is awesome too, man. This is a great show.
Loved Moon Knight. I think it's a rewatchable show too, which makes a big difference. And I think it's going to be a big part of the MCU moving forward. So shout out to Oscar Isaac, May Calamawy, Ethan Hawke, Mohamed Diab, the entire Moon Knight crew. What a show. Absolutely amazing. And Dylan, let's end our Moon Knight discussion with, where do you think we see Moon Knight next?
In the movie. I don't know what movie. I don't know if he's a cameo, but I don't know if he gets his own. I think we're more likely to see him in a movie because he's kind of a random-ass character, and I think that makes sense. Hey, hopefully I see him tomorrow. I doubt it, but you never know.
That'd be great. I'm going to say that we see him this Halloween in the Werewolf by Night Halloween special.
That's a safer pick.
That's my next guess.
When you give 9 runs? What? Sorry. Baseball. You going to the minor leagues? I'm dropping you, boy.
Moving on to the next program. Bang. We Own This City, episode 2 came out this Monday. I just got a chance to sit down and watch it today because I typically watch it on Wednesdays when I'm watching Moon Knight. This episode was really cool in a sense of, last week was kind of the pilot, gives you an idea of what the show is going to be about. This one gives you a real look into the build-up and the details behind how John Bernthal's character becomes a dirty cop, gets involved in the situations that he's in, gives you more aspects from, the link-ups with, the drug trade and everything like that. I marvel at these first 2 episodes simply because when you remember John Bernthal's method acting, it's unbelievable how damn good of an actor he is.
He's that guy, bro.
He just flips a switch and he's just so good. I know good is such an under estimation of how he's portraying this character, but my goodness, it's one of the better TV characters I can remember in a long time for that genre of show where it's kind of like that drama genre almost. It takes you down the rabbit hole of, just him going into the police academy and then him being influenced by people who were already in there and being like, hey, this is Baltimore. Everything you learned in the police academy, throw it out the fucking window. Don't even worry about it.
That that's something that goes on, not just in what you're watching, but it's a real life scenario. It's a true story, and it's not just Baltimore. Other police departments around the country deal with the same kind of shit.
And that's the thing too, that when you're watching it, it's one of those instances where it's one, this is based on a true story, and 2, you can really wrap your brain around the fact that this shit happened. And this stuff happens probably still to this day in 2022. Like,
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunately.
yeah, absolutely, unfortunately. And it's like it's so many things that like being where we live too in such a diverse area, you
Mhm.
see a lot of things as well where like it's like, oh, you can relate to that, where it's like, oh, somebody dropped a SoundCloud diss track about a cop. Like that happens in this episode.
Yeah.
And it gets back to that dirty cop, and then that SoundCloud rapper starts facing harsher punishment, starts getting pulled over more, starts getting, abused more by the cops and everything because of it. And it's like, holy shit, like you could see that happening, unfortunately, like anywhere around like our area, like in that tri-state area, including Baltimore and everything in that space. And it's like you can really put yourself in the shoes of so many of these people to
Mhm.
just insert yourself into a situation and like feel like you're visually watching it from that point of time. Not saying that like you're one of the, people getting arrested or one of the cops, but like you can say, okay, I'm gonna jump into this show and sit from the sideline, and they don't know I'm there, but I'm watching this and I feel like I'm experiencing what's going on.
Yeah, I very much enjoy that kind of show and that vibe. And I unfortunately, the reason why, if you're watching on YouTube, not just listening, you're probably like, well, Dylan's looking at his phone. It's because I haven't watched 2 episodes because I suck. And I've just been busy. Kyle's holding down the fort. And if you have watched the show, you can rub it in and just let me know how much I'm missing. I will get around to it. Kyle knows I'm good for it. If you listen for a while, you know I'm good for it. Every once in a while, there's a show or two that Kyle and I collectively drop, not on purpose, just because we
Yes.
forget. But this will not be one of them because Kyle.
Yeah, this one's a mainstay. I'm so enamored by this show, and like we get our first look at like a true murder in this episode, and the character Marlowe from The Wire, his character in this show, he goes around and is talking to people in the neighborhood as a detective, trying to get more information from people, and trying to relate to them as well, which I think he's doing a really good job in the role that he's in. And then you get the civil rights department of everything coming in to talk to one of the dirty cops, and approaches the guy where it's like, why the fuck has this guy not been taken off street patrol and everything, and why does he keep kind of slipping under the rug with everything that is talked about him? He's this dirty bad cop. Like, why does he keep getting away with everything that he is? And that's kind of where the episode leaves you at the cliffhanger. It's so well done. Again, like the cinematography is really awesome. I love the way that the show is shot, because it kind of gives you a point of view perspective almost, and the cuts that they do from in the jail cell, kind of just that room, the interrogation room almost, is where a lot of the storytelling happens, Dylan. And I like that aspect as well, where you have the quote unquote criminal or the person of interest talking with the FBI agents and stuff, and they're telling the story, and then boom, it inserts you into that portion of what they're telling on the record. And I think that it's used a lot. Like, you see it a lot in Criminal Minds, you see it a lot in different like crime shows, but it's hard to execute it in a storytelling way. And I think We Own This City is doing a phenomenal job 2 episodes in of really using that as like their narrator, and then placing you into the situations, and you being put into like the scene of the show.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. I just need to get to it. I want to watch it because I like being informative on different aspects and different views and everything. Like, I like challenging myself as a viewer, and that's just something. That's kind of why I like The Wire, because it's not like The Wire is a cop show, but it very much touches on things that you might not necessarily see in like a law enforcement show. And this same thing. This one's like Kyle. It's centered around like corrupt policing. So it's not like there's definitely not a show. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's not trying to like show how great the Baltimore Police Department is. It's doing the exact opposite, which is interesting.
And it details like the rabbit hole that John Bernthal's character goes down once it's like, oh yeah, all the stuff you learn in the academy, throw that shit out the window. Like, this is Baltimore, and you see like what triggers him to kind of go down that path where the cop he's with, it's like, oh yeah, we could either bring in one guy for drugs or we could bring in 3 guys. If we bring in the 3, we get paid more. And you see like what's triggering him to kind of go down that hole, and it's like, oh, I get more money because of this. And then you see like he's got a wife, and he shows up to a party. He brings like a bucket of crabs that are medium-sized crabs, but then he gets clowned for it. It's like, oh, you wasted all our time for this. Look what I brought. And this other guy has like an ice chest full of different stuff, and he feels shitty about it. And it's like, damn, like I spent $46 on all this stuff. So it's like you can tell that like he's kind of scraping for money a little bit, and then it goes and shows you how much more he goes and influences people under him to be like, hey, let's bring them all in. Like that's more money because they're not going to approve us for overtime. They don't approve anybody for overtime. So you kind of see the spiraling trail that he goes down as he gets deeper and deeper into the scenario that he's in. So I'm giving episode 2 of We Own the City a 9.3 out of 10. The show just continues to blow me away. It's one of the hottest shows on TV right now. If you're not watching it, you're doing your TV viewing wrong, and Dylan's going to catch up. And once he does, I guarantee I'm either going to get a FaceTime or a text and be like, what the fuck?
You damn right.
So We Own the City. It airs live on regular HBO, 9 o'clock on Mondays, and then it's always streaming on HBO Max as well. Dylan, it is Star Wars Day as we record this episode. May the 4th be with you, and also with you. So we did get a new look at Obi-Wan Kenobi today, which was very exciting. We got our first look at Darth Vader, and just kind of a sneak preview of Darth Vader in there. With it being your birthday eve and Star Wars Day, I wanted to pitch this first question to you when it comes to Star Wars.
I was truly born on an elite day. I just want to put that out there.
Yes, you were. If you had, your birthday wish come true in the Star Wars universe,
oh goodness,
what show or movie would you want to see put onto the TV or the big screen involving the galaxy far, far away?
So, like, just take any character you were saying and make a movie out of it, essentially?
Yeah, your dream Star Wars project that you'd want to see come to life.
Definitely not Boba Fett. They put that in the toilet. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Misa, sorry.
Oh, no, you don't bring him up in this house. Not on today, Kyle. You should know better. This is a holiday. No. Oh, God, Jar Jar. Now I'm distracted. My one brain's doing the monkey symbols. Left brain, right brain. Bo Burnham song. Something original. I'm not taking a cop out just because Kyle knows I've harped on this. If you listen to any of the Star Wars things, we see the same shit. Like I'm not knocking it because there has been some breathtaking stuff, and the Obi-Wan show has to take place there. I'm being satire. You can be kind of funny if you want in life, The Star Wars, it's like a bullet. It's like a triangle, It's like desert, siblings, just like boom, 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 boom. Good, bad. Like I guess what I'm trying is something like what Boba Fett the show tried to do, but like more legit. Like maybe like a crime centered or something about bounty hunters. Or maybe get like a live action Cal Kestis, the dude from The Force Unleashed. Or not Force Unleashed, from The Force Awakens. Force Unleashed is a game when Kyle and I were younger, and that game slapped too, but that guy's not considered canon, I think. So I guess the roundabout answer, just something original, like a Rogue One type vibe too. Like, because Rogue One's my favorite Star Wars film, TBH. Yeah, so.
I had an idea today when I was thinking of Star Wars Day topics that I think you might really enjoy this too. That if they brought this to the big screen or as a Disney Plus series, it would be fucking awesome. So you remember like the like witch sisters from Clone Wars?
Oh, yeah.
And give us like a horror magic aspect of the Star Wars universe where they're using sorcery and magic and it's a different take on everything and it doesn't involve the Force or the Sith or anything. It's just full-blown magic and, like, darkness, witchcraft, like horror Star Wars involving the sisters that help bring Darth Maul's brother to life. I think that would be such a cool take on the
Oh,
Star Wars universe.
You just gave me an idea. I think we had this conversation before. So I would want the old Republic, like where there was hundreds
Yeah.
and hundreds of Jedis and Sith, and you could get essentially like a Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or whatever kind of show you've watched or movie that has big battles. Imagine like a big ass battle of like several hundred Jedi's and Sith just clashing, and like rather than swords, we're hearing a bunch of lightsabers. Second idea would be something clone centric. I think it'd be really cool to have like a movie based around like a clone's point of view, like the Brotherhood. Like we've already seen their Brotherhood in the animated series, but you could even dive into that more and like really explore. You could even do
Like
like
a live action Bad Batch.
yeah, or like a live action, maybe like the Clone Commandos.
That would be sweet.
Something like that. Something that's like the similar but different. You know, kind of like all three of our suggestions. They weren't like the usual Star Wars path. It wasn't just like, you know what, like they're in their meeting and they're like, you know what, Tim, desert, snow planet,
Hey, you listen here, Dave Filoni.
lightsaber.
But I think like the witchcraft, those sisters. I'm blanking on what their name is. Let's see, the Witch Sisters.
I was just literally like the
Clone
Witch
Wars.
Sisters.
I know they have the Night Sisters.
Night Sisters, yeah.
The Night Sisters of Dathomir. Bring them into the live action or not MCU Star Wars universe and give us that take on Star Wars, because I like that arc of Clone Wars was so cool and like so spooky. And you can recreate like the creation of Darth Maul's brother. You can do different things where they bring different characters to life that we haven't seen before.
Mr. Savage Opress.
It would be so cool. Yes, Savage Opress. I would love to see the Night Sisters in live action.
That'd be sick. Or you could even take a book out of what I talked about.
A book out of Boba Fett. Waka waka.
No, like you can make your own Jedi. Like make one up. Oh, that'd be cool. Have a Jedi survive Order 66, right? And it's like themed. Like you're getting the vibes that this is like a survivor. Like I'm a survivor. And then they like mid movie or towards the end they join the Inquisitors.
Ooh.
Little plot twist.
Okay.
Yeah. Call me
Dave Filoni, if you're listening, we are for hire. I also would really enjoy, even though we just saw him in the Book of Boba Fett, I would enjoy just another Cad Bane series.
Oh my god, Cad Bane, or give me like a live action like bounty hunter movie. Like give me Boba, give me Cad Bane, give me Bosk.
Chrysanthemum.
What's the guy with the it's like not a turban, but he had Dengar, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Give us Black Chrysanthemum. Like that would be a cool thing. Yo,
give us that cool droid bounty hunter from Star Wars.
Yes. Like there's so many different avenues that they haven't even touched.
You watched the OG Clone Wars cartoon, right? Like the old school Cartoon Network one.
I think so. Yeah.
Remember Scourge, that weird tentacle dude?
Scourge. Let me
Google Scourge Star Wars, and you'll be like, "Yo, yes, this man needs a live action. He's a horror."
Oh hell yes!
Yeah.
Hell yes!
Tank.
Hell yes! That needs to happen ASAP. We did get the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer today, which was really cool. First 2 episodes start streaming May 27th, so we are 23 days away from more Star Wars content coming to the channel to the podcast. The more and more I see trailers of this, the more and more intrigued and excited I am for this show.
I'm excited because
I know you and I both had our like hesitations on things.
It's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see where they take this show.
This is the show you want to watch.
These are the podcasters you're looking for.
I hope so.
So yeah, Star Wars Day. Who are your top 3 favorite Star Wars characters?
Oh, that's fun. Han Solo's in there probably.
Yeah.
It's everyone's favorite himbo. I'm not gonna say Luke Skywalker, not because I do not. I love Mark Hamill. We love Mark Hamill.
We love Mark Hamill in this
Mark
house.
Hamill, in the off chance you hear this, I'm not putting you. You do deserve to be out there. I'm just gonna try to choose some like
not
random...
stereotypical.
Yeah, I'm gonna choose. I would have said Boba Fett if it wasn't for the show. This is where I put my award if I had one. Oh man, I guess Cad Bane.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll say it. Growing up, I loved Kit Fisto for some reason.
Yes. Yes.
So I would say Han Solo, Kit Fisto, and I'm panicking, so I'm trying to think of another one that's not like a main one. Not Boba Fett. We all know I love him. I literally just showed my gosh darn Lego set of him.
Yes. Kit
Mark
Fisto
Hamill.
supremacy.
I'll say, can I just say clones? No, it's too generic, right? Well, I guess they're all the same person.
Same person, technically.
Clones, dude. If you don't like the clones in Star Wars, there's the door. I'm serious. I don't know about you, Kyle, because we both watched the show, but some of the best episodes were just the clones. I don't even need the Space Wizards. I just want the clones.
To go, I love Han Solo, but I'm gonna go 3 separate from you, just so we have.
Yeah, that was my one basic
diversity. I love Han Solo; he's great. I'm gonna go Chewbacca. Love Chewie.
that was bad.
Let's see. For some reason on TNT today, episode 9 was on, and you remember the little dude who like taps into C-3PO's brain?
Oh, some of the
Bib,
Bifu,
Bafu Frick, Babu Frick. He's just hilarious. He's hilarious. He's not in my top 3, but he's hilarious.
Oh, dude, I gotta rewrite my top 3. Any. I have a greater faith in the boy. My top 3 is that one assassin lady that has 2 faces that dies in the second. No, I'm kidding.
Babu Frick is just, he's like, I did it, yeah.
Oh. Honorable mention, Yondu.
Yes.
Or no, not Yondu.
Hondu.
Yondu's
Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a different galaxy far, far away. I'm gonna go.
Oh, I didn't say Obi-Wan Kenobi either. Well, I guess I tried saying not popular ones.
Who else do I? I mean, I love Din Djarin, Mando.
Yeah, that's true too. You put me on the spot. It's a hard question, dude. There's so many
I
characters.
know. It just popped in my brain.
Because like if you keep thinking about it like I am now that you're going, I'm just like, oh well, I should have said that. Dumbass.
Yeah, and then so I'm gonna Chewie, Mando, and
also because like Clone Wars Grievous is amazing.
Oh yes. I'm gonna go with Zero the Hutt, Dylan. No, just kidding. That would also be a really cool Star Wars show, just like the Hutt underworld and like just go full blown Sopranos.
As long as Zero dies in like 5 minutes, I'm all for it.
Hey, it's Tony the Hutt.
Oh my god! I'm gonna turn to Midnight and just start bashing him in.
Kid Fisto's a great one. I'm gonna go Ahsoka.
Oh, that's a good one too. She's very.
I really like her character, and I think they're gonna do a lot of really awesome things with Rosario Dawson moving forward.
She's very popular.
So yeah, this is where the comment section on YouTube comes in.
Dude,
Drop your favorite Star Wars characters in the comment section and let us know why.
Neither Kyle or I said Mace Windu.
I know Mace Windu. There's so many. That we love. So drop your favorite Star Wars characters and a reason why in the YouTube comment section. And next week we'll read our favorite ones. But Dylan, it is time to get into everybody's favorite segment. It is the streaming platform Multiverse News and Notes powered by the homies over at Pickup. You guys can go to playpickup.com and start playing the hottest headlines in sports and hopefully one day pop culture as well as playpickup.com. Dylan, we got quite a few news and notes that popped up this week, and we do have a game that we're going to play in this segment as well this week, but I did get a chance to watch the Chris DiStefano Speshy Weshy last night with some of the boys, and that is his Netflix special, the Speshy Weshy, and I gotta say, man, I was in stitches laughing. It was very, very funny. It's about like 35 minutes. If you have a chance to watch it on Netflix, I highly recommend it if you want some good laughs. Shout out to Chris DiStefano. The Speshy Weshy was
cosplay
fantastic.
costume for only $300.
If we get to 1,000 YouTube subscribers,
No, okay, I'll set both of us up for enjoyment. So if we get to that many followers, subscribers, Kyle and I have to go to a Comic-Con.
yes,
Dressed as
totally down.
We'll set a soft budget of, well, not soft, but like a couple $100. We're not made of money. We can't drop $1,000 on a costume. Although I do think, Kyle, speaking for myself, I think $300 and under would be a sufficient budget for that.
Totally.
I would spend like $250 on a cool costume. So
Yeah, let's make it happen. So yeah, check out the Speshy Weshy. Also, did you see Dave Chappelle last night?
He got attacked, bro.
At the Netflix is a Joke Comedy
assaulted.
Fest. And his crew, I think it was his security team, beat the living shit out of that guy.
Yeah, he literally said he's in the back getting stomped.
And I think one of the funniest memes I saw was Dave Chappelle's team had the the stage runner looking like Mojo Jojo after he got done with the Powerpuff Girls. We talked about potentially seeing somebody in the MCU because he's ready to join the MCU. Zac Efron. We're all in this together, buddy. Yes. Quote, I've been a fan of Marvel since I started walking. If the right character comes along, I would jump at the opportunity. And Dylan and I both agreed pre-show Zac Efron would be a fantastic Nova.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how we didn't even plan that. I randomly said it, and then Kyle was like, yo!
I was like, yes!
I was like, that's a good casting. Because I see fan casting as him as Wolverine. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Wolverine, you kind of have to be, like, I guess rugged. You know what I mean? Like
more grizzly, more, aged.
Yeah, that's why.
Where Zac Efron's skin is still shiny and glowing and looking fantastic.
Yes.
But I think he would be a great Nova. You look at Nova in the comics, and, like, you could see Zac Efron, like, in that costume. You could see him in that role. I think it would be perfect. And I think Zac Efron would be an awesome addition to the MCU of, like, the latest additions. Like, we saw Harry Styles join the MCU. Like, who's to say Zac Efron can't do the same thing? I think he'd be a great Nova. Papa Feige, let's make it happen. Speaking of Marvel, Dylan, as we record this on Star Wars Day, The Avengers released 10 years ago today.
That's fucking wild.
Absolutely insane. One of our favorite characters is in talks to star in a Suicide Squad spin-off series for HBO Max, the one and only Viola Davis.
Dude, that's awesome. And I just saw, because you're talking about like fan casting and like heroes, so I saw one. I have never thought of this, and I'm so upset. Viggo Mortensen, do you know who that is? You haven't watched Lord of the Rings, right?
No.
So Kyle's not a Lord of the Rings guy, but anyone on the face of the earth who has watched Lord of the Rings, Viggo Mortensen, he plays Aragorn, and play him as Doctor Doom. That's just you know what? Sorry, Michael Fassbender, you've been replaced. You've been replaced.
Earlier this week, 14 years ago, on May 2nd, Iron Man 1 was released in theaters.
God, maybe so old as
I gotta say, Iron Man 1, even though it was released in 2008, still holds up to this day as, like, a phenomenal movie. Like, you can sit down and watch Iron Man 1, and you could think, oh, this was made, like, a year ago. Like, it's that well done and that well, like, produced. It's one of the best MCU movies of all time. Dylan, did you see two of our favorite Marvel characters? They dropped the trailer for their new movie, Don't Worry, Darling, with Harry Styles and Florence Pugh.
I think I might sit that one out. No, I'm kidding.
It looks very entertaining, and the fact that the trailer showed Harry Styles doing a little going down on Florence Pugh was wild. We also got, I think, my favorite news tidbit of this week's Multiverse News and Notes. We talked about this probably a few months ago, but it is confirmed now that Topher Grace, Laura Prepon, Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, and Wilmer Valderrama will appear. All of them will appear in that 90s show. Danny Masterson is the only main cast member not returning for logical reasons. If you know, you know. But that is via Variety. So we are getting pretty much like the OG crew of that 70s show because Red and Kitty are also back. This just has me that much more excited for this show.
I was already excited, and the fact that like the entire cast is back besides one person is even more like appetizing, and I just can't wait to like see it through.
100%. Some unfortunate news here. John Watts has exited as director on the Fantastic Four.
Not always a good sign. Not always a call to panic either.
Quote from Kevin Feige: "We were looking forward to continuing our work with him to bring the Fantastic Four into the MCU, but understand and are supportive of his reasons for stepping away. We are optimistic that we will have the opportunity to work together again down the road." John Watts wanted to take a break from CBMs. Quote, "I'm eternally grateful to have been a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe for 7 years. I'm hopeful that we will work together again, and I can't wait to see the amazing vision for Fantastic Four brought to life."
How hard is it to announce John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, I guess it doesn't really matter, the other two. Well, I don't know are they like popular fan casts for the other two? Like everyone,
I haven't really seen anything.
Everyone agrees we want the two I just named for Reed Richards and I'm blanking on Sue Storm. Thank you. But like, no one knows who they want. Well, not no one. I think people wanted Zac Efron as a Human Torch. That would kind of make sense, I guess. And then for the thing, do you really even need? You just need the voice actor, similar to like Bradley Cooper for Rocket, right? Because if you're making it pre-existing, like or existing rather, like it already happened. We don't have to see the backstory. They tried that twice. He's already going to be a giant rock man, so you don't need... I really do think it'd be hilarious to get The Rock to play a rock.
Yes.
It's just like an inside joke. Although he's a little bit older than John and Emily. Not like a lot, but like... They're supposed to be older, and I believe the Human Torch is younger than all four of them.
Yeah.
So that has to be a younger actor. I don't know if you have anybody in mind.
I don't know.
I haven't really thought about it either. I just want John Krasinski and Emily Blunt.
I just don't want him to fuck up the Fantastic Four again.
Dude, I know. We've gotten 2 Fantastic Fours, which is crazy.
3, technically, if you throw it all the way back to like the 70s with a really bad Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, you're right.
That movie stunk on ice.
I watched like 10 minutes of that and then threw up. Dude, the early Marvel movies are god. I was just saying, so we've gotten 3, which means we've gotten 12 different actors involved over the course of history, and that's not including any animated Fantastic Four, which I'm sure there is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as current.
Yeah, I don't know.
To the Marvel like animation and cartoons, please in the comics please in the comments leave like help for me in that regard. But like my point is, we've gotten quite a few iterations and versions and adaptations of these characters, and they have all stunk. Well, I actually haven't watched the first Fantastic Four in a while. We were kids when we watched it. I imagine it probably aged terribly.
Oh yeah.
So.
You know what hasn't aged terribly? Well, they've age swapped. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and the Marvels have swapped release dates.
Whoa.
So now Ant-Man 3 will come out February 17th, 2023, And the Marvels will release July 28th, 2023.
It's an interesting little Swift Rooney there.
Little interesting there. We have the 4 names of the Avatar sequels, Dylan, that are coming out. We talked about one of them last week, The Way of Water.
Oh, did you see Sam Worthington's quote about that?
No.
You're talking about Avatar, right? The whole, like, book, yeah.
The blue people, yeah.
Yeah. So he said, like, he was pretending to be in a wheelchair, and he said, like, his age for the first one, but he's like, now I'm pushing 50. He's like, by the time we film the whole series, I'll actually be in a wheelchair.
He just might be, because Avatar 3 will be named The Seed Bearer, and that will release December 20th, 2024. Avatar 4 will be titled The Tulkun Rider, December 18th, 2026.
Wait, when did the second one come out?
That one will come out later this year, December 16th, 2022.
Dude, I don't understand how it has 4 of them and we haven't had...
There's 5, because Avatar 5, The Quest for Awa, will release December 22nd, 2028.
Stop it! We haven't... How many years? The first one came out when I was in high school, I think.
Yeah, it came out like 2008.
No, before high school.
It's insane.
That's nuts. It's gotta be one of the longest like times between like a movie for it to be a franchise to wait. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times you only wait like 2, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe 10 years. This is pushing north of 10 years, dude.
Yeah, it's insane.
I forget what happens. I made that joke last time we talked about it. I raise any of you off the rip, off the cuff. If I asked you what the Avatar movie's about and name like 4 characters, you look at me and go, "What?"
I have a good laugh for you here from one of our favorite Avengers, but not his kid's favorite Avenger. Paul Bettany's kids think Vision is the worst Avenger. This is via Late Night Seth. He said, they torture me with it. My daughter has moved through all the different Avengers as her favorite, and it's never me. Well, Paul Bettany, we love you here on this podcast. Adam Sandler confirms that he's reuniting with Safdie brothers for a new film. Obviously, that's who he worked with for Uncut Gems.
I still haven't seen that.
Me either.
Really
Let's
good.
see if there's anything else. Also, for the people out there, there are I haven't seen any of them, thankfully, but if you plan on seeing Doctor Strange, mute the hashtag, because there are massive spoilers out in the universe. So go ahead and mute those things. But speaking of Doctor Strange, Dylan, as we record this 2 days before the release day, our final bit of streaming platform Multiverse news and notes, we are going to have a Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness bingo card for you. We'll put a blank one out there for you, and we'll put the one that we're filling out here for fun stuff. So it's, instead of bingo, it's Strange. It's STRNG. And right now, Dylan and I have a few of the spots filled in. We're going to read them here for you. Number 1, we find out why Mordo was killing sorcerers at the end of Doctor Strange 1, because the Mordo we see right now is Supreme Mordo. So maybe we'll find out that. Professor X, who is confirmed for this movie, obviously, is Professor X from the X-Men 97 animated series. This one is submitted by Dylan. Bruce Campbell, a Sam Raimi character from The Evil Dead, is in the MCU confirmed.
Let's go!
Tom Cruise cameo as Iron Man. Marvel Zombies post-credit scene. Mephisto, obviously, for the brand. Do Billy and Tommy die again? We have over 2.5 Westview references. So if we get 3 or more Westview references, you can check that off your bingo card. Jonathan Majors cameo as Kang the Conqueror or a Kang variant. And a No Way Home reference. So we're going to continue filling this out, and we will tweet the final product filled out for you on Friday. And then obviously we'll tweet a blank one as well for you to fill out your own predictions for Multiverse of Madness. But we will be reviewing Multiverse of Madness on this podcast. Dylan, should we give a time frame of when we're going to review it? Should we review it next week? And just say, hey, massive spoilers?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm seeing it tomorrow, like I said.
Yeah,
so
I'm seeing it Friday, so we'll both have seen it by the time we record next week.
You guys saw how bad I am at watching other shows. I can only watch one at a time. We own the city, unfortunately. I just haven't gotten around to it. So I'm forcing myself to see Doctor Strange as early as possible to avoid falling into that.
So we are going to have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness review next week. We will have We Own This City episode 3, just discussion. We'll have more streaming platform multiverse news and notes.
Eventually Batman one day.
Yeah, maybe we'll squeeze Batman in, depending on what pops up on the docket next week. But there is
Bruce Wayne, Kyle.
Bruce Wayne. There is no Marvel or Star Wars show recurring weekly until May 27th. So we'll have just more stuff to discuss and talk about.
Yes, sir.
Shows, movies, all that good stuff for the next couple weeks until that drops, which is on a Friday. So that might switch up our schedule. Let's put this out there now for the people. That might switch up our schedule for recording and you getting the podcast on a different day, because Friday, if they stick with Obi-Wan coming out on Fridays, Dylan, the following week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So May 27th, obviously, is when the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi are released. But then the following week, we should get another episode. And then the week after that, that Wednesday, June 8th, is allegedly when Miss Marvel is supposed to release.
It's when Nova comes out, god damn it.
So if that's the case and they continue releasing Obi-Wan on Fridays, we might switch the podcast to just on Fridays until Obi-Wan's over and see just how things play out, because then we'll have the 2 shows to be able to talk about them at the same time.
Word.
So we'll let you guys know. But that's why you got to follow us on the socials at StreamerSZN on Twitter and Instagram. Follow Dylan on Twitter at Dylan Mazzola. Wish him a happy birthday.
Bro.
Venmo the boy for his movie theater snacks.
I feel so cringe asking that, dude.
You can follow me at KBIZZL311. Dylan, also, let's end with this too. Your birthday, obviously. What is your birthday wish for your favorite streaming platform? What do you want to see happen?
I want to see us grow.
Bang.
Just got real quiet. No, I mean, it's not.
If you could pick a show or movie to concept to come to a streaming platform, which one and what would the premise be?
Midnight Suns.
Dig it.
And premise.
It's very on brand.
Premise. You can beat me out if you want. Fucking shit up, Kyle.
So follow Dylan on Twitter at Dylan Mazzola. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Check out our website, undergroundsportsphiladelphia.com. Leave the podcast reviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and leave us recommendations for things to watch.
Recommendations. You can do it in the comment section now. You can literally, all you gotta do is click that like button. Or if you're subscribed and you want to not like the video, it's fine because you're still subscribed. But you want to comment, get interaction, that's also fine, you know?
And they should subscribe to the podcast feed, to YouTube, play the Apple Podcast or Spotify audio on mute, and then watch the video version. You kill 2 birds with 1 stone for the boys.
Yeah, that's like multitasking.
So subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to the podcast feeds, click the like button, hit the bell icon so you don't miss a single video episode or any reaction videos that we end up doing down the line. And of course, big thank you to our sponsors. Tomahawk Shades, the best small batch eyewear in the game. Go to tomahawkshades.com and use promo code USP for 25% off your order at tomahawkshades.com.
When you say USP, I think of EA Games.
USP. It's in the pod. Kenwood Beer, Dylan's favorite beverage of choice when he's watching Moon Knight and his favorite movies and shows.
I need to figure out if it sells anywhere local.
True. I think they're working on getting into New Jersey soon, which is very exciting.
Word, because I just whenever I'm in Philly, I just buy it.
So go to kenwoodbeer.com and use the Kenny tracker to see who's got Kenwood beer on tap in the Philadelphia area. You got to be 21 or older to do so, and of course, please drink responsibly. And the boys over at Bino, go to binoboard.com. That's BINHOBOARD.com, and use our code BINOUSP for 10% off your order at binoboard.com. Stay tuned for the Bino League coming to the YouTube channel. But this has been another episode of StreamerSZN, the exclusive TV and movie podcast for streaming platforms on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. For my favorite Cowabunga boy, Dylan Mazzola, Cowabunga birthday boy,
Thanks, man.
I'm KB. Until next time, we are getting the heck out of here. Peace.